beautiful.
Wow, look at that.
Hey, beautiful girl.
Bird. It's a bird.
Yeah, you got a perfect spot. Share with me, please.
That's my dad, everybody. This is my mom. No faces though. We don't share faces on this channel. Well, unless I get a certain amount of likes, then maybe. And look at that, an owl. And it would be difficult to see, but there is an owl. Right, where is it? There? Right here. Below my finger. My phone's being stupid. There, you can see it just right. Look at that owl. There's an owl. I think that's a horned owl. Right in the top there. That is 100% a horned owl. You see it in the very back? There's two. Hey. Right there. They're impossible to see, but...
Yeah, really well camouflaged.
Zoom. Zoom. Look at that. Those are horned owls, everybody. If the camera would like to focus, that would be great. That, my friends and viewers, is a two-horned owl. They're not very common anywhere. Oh, and there's another eagle. Right. This is not an eagle. This is an eagle.
She is a rough-legged hawk.
Look at that thing.
And her name is Nahani. Hi, Nahani.
Honey. Look at this beautiful bird.
Are you beautiful?
Now that's a bird.
Hi, Nahani.
And then we have our golden eagles, or bald eagles. So that's what that sound always is. That's an eagle sound, not the sound that we think of an actual bald eagle.
That's a bald eagle.
They're talking. What are they saying? They're saying weird.
Cool.
And then there's just a bunch of ravens over there. Banks of the Yellowstone.
Just kidding. Go, go, go.
You want a picture? Okay, come.
Don't, just stay there.
That's what you just about. I want a picture with the sign. Hey, Drew.
Smile for the camera's camera.
Awesome. Nice. Good.
I may be. Where are you going?
No, too far.
If you stand over here,
No, but then I can't see the eagle.
you can see the eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfectly.
Small. They're small, actually. 1, 2, 3.
Well, they look small. Wait till they open their wings. They have an 8-foot wingspan, Daddy.
You can still see them, but that's why it needs to be close. I need to be close to you.
So, Mom, their bodies seem small, but they have an 8-foot. The only reason why I don't do face videos is everyone's been requesting if this video gets, I don't know, 200 likes, I'll do a face review. That height aside, let's go see some aquatic creatures. They have rainbow trout right here. It's a fish. I don't know. That's why you take a video of fish. Look at all of them. Yeah, they're rainbow trout. This one. It's very loud in here, but you should be able to hear me just fine. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Now, what would be in here? I think this must be otters.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where? Oh. Yeah, you can kind of see it, folks. There's one at the back. The better angle would be on the other side, probably. Look at that little thing. That is unique, that's for sure. Definitely unique. Say hi for the camera, Mom. Daddy, look down. Daddy. Paps.
Intruders reporting live as well.
Now, this is peak entertainment. Welcome to the US, everybody. And I'm assuming this is like their living space. To the wolves. Let's go find the wolves.
You want to go see the wolves?
Yeah. Nothing.
Okay.
It's so I guess they're den. This was the exit.
Hopefully you didn't record that.
They probably won't hear it over the sound of water in that tank. Thank you. But man, only downside is that everyone doesn't get to see Angel in person yet, thankfully. Don't worry, on the January 2nd and 3rd area time will be when me and my buddy actually are in a video. No, I should be fine. Nah. I'll be good for a little bit. Now look at the beautiful stylization of this place, people. Like, it is quite the place, if I do say so. This is very beautiful. Obviously, that's not somewhere we can go, but it is beautiful. Like, look at the decoration outside. Yeah, let me get to the window. Now, ain't that just something? This is, yes, this is what it looks like down here. For all I know, this might be the Wolf's enclosure. There's a good chance of it. Exit. Clip that. Clip that. Kidding, I'm kidding. I'm not that annoying. You think this will open if I pull on it? Nah. What do you think's behind here? It doesn't look locked, but it might be locked. Who knows? We will never know. Will we? We will never know. Never. If I had a GoPro, I'd be using that, but I'm just using my phone. It ain't the best quality, but it ain't the worst. But for everyone who doesn't know, on the upcoming days, it will turn to my birthday. So in about a month, and when this is uploaded, I don't actually know when it's up. When I'm gonna upload this, maybe later today, maybe in a few weeks. But in a month from the recording of this day, which is I believe the 28th of December, which is the current date today, in 1 month and 1 day from now, it is my birthday. I'll let you people do the math. What's that?
Emergency he'll set up a bunch of alarms.
And so soon I'm going to be doing some new birthday content, hanging out with our good buddy and constantly reoccurring guest, Angel. As everyone knows and probably loves him. There's so much to be seen. Oh god. What's this place called again? It's not Manitoba. It's
Sorry, what?
What's this place called again?
It's Wolf and
State.
Montana.
Montana. I was thinking Manitoba for some reason. Montana. Isn't that the redneck country?
No.
Is it Montana like cowboy country?
Used to be, still is, but I think it's pretty blue now. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
But
I don't really.
go Eagles.
His wife's name is Jay. I'm like, I don't know you from a hole in the ground, but I like you already.
And I thought I was like, you're talking to me?
I love it.
Now we are going to... Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, why? My brain is being fuzzy again. It's not Manitoba. You don't tell me. Montana. The Monty. We're in the months.
Yeah, well, tell your viewers what the north of Montana is like.
This is the north, isn't it?
No, we're in the south.
Is it? I don't know. It's like the north.
North was the prairies, like
Ah,
Saskatchewan.
right. So, on our lovely vacation, folks, we drove up through the north, and now we're in the south. The north is nothing. Like, and I don't mean it's bad or anything. It's literally nothing. There's a lot of flat. Very, very flat. Everything's flat. And lots of oil drills everywhere. You can see them on the prairies and stuff like that. It's
Wolves. Wolves hanging out.
And you can't probably see from this distance, but there are some wolves over here.
This is the talk time. But they're going to initiate a pack conversation.
Between the wolves?
Yeah, you howl at them and they...
Oh,
Apparently this is a bit slick.
we're allowed to go in here right now? Time to get him.
Exactly the time. I don't want to touch that. Sorry.
That's fine. Now that is something. If it will focus, that'd be great. Come on. It's a white wolf, the best kind. That, my friends, is white wolf. There seems to be other wolves around here. They blended. Oh, there's a gray wolf in the background. I don't know if you can see it. Way in the back here. Got this lovely, I want to say Arctic wolf, but I don't think that's what they're called. It's just a white wolf.
Pretty sure. They're bigger.
Precisely. They're timber wolves. This just happens to be a white timber wolf.
Well, look around and you'll see information about the wolves.
Hey, look at this, Mom. Canine skull. That's cool. How did I not know? Probably you guys are all noticed that way before I did. But that is a beautiful elk head and neck. And then Rudolph the red-nosed deer skull, or canine skull. Very well done work, I guess. I don't know what to call that.
He's huge.
Yeah, they're timber wolves. Don't know how far I can get in before it cuts off. Look at that wolf. Look at it. And way in the background you can see a wolf prancing around. Way in the back there you can see that wolf. I don't know how many there are in this enclosure, but it's quite interesting. Look at all the photographs and paintings.
We go outside. Let's go outside.
I already videotaped it. Take a picture with me in it. Smile for the camera, people. Good puppy.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Is this the wolf? I thought so, but I don't think it's that.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome.
And it begins.
I'd love to talk to you a little bit about the wolves that live here. I do have a little bit of sad news to share. Many of you have heard the wolves howling today. And it's just one particular group of wolves. They recently lost a pack member. So it's not uncommon for wolves, even in the wild, to kind of howl like this when they've lost a pack member. You know, it's unclear what exactly that means to them. It could be some kind of mourning. Maybe they're just trying to figure out what it means that that pack member is absent. They're expecting the pack member to reply and they're not. So that's a little bit of what you're hearing. If it sounds sad, a lot of times people think wolf howl sounds sad generally, but in this case, it could very well be. So that's always sad for us, sad for the wolves as well. They're very social animals, so those relationships with their packmates are really important to them. But it's a part of life. So as we take care of these animals, inevitably, you know, there will be some losses. But we do a lot to give the wolves new social opportunities. There's a good chance that the two wolves that are howling together will make for a good social group going forward. This is Bridger. He is a male wolf. And the wolf on the other side of the fence is Obsidian, also a male with the same age. They know each other well. They have a history of being rivals, but the loss of that pack member could change things for them. Over on the other side of the fence, or the building rather, we've got a lot of napping wolves. This is a completely different social group. And they're family members. There's 4 siblings. They're in there with their mother. So the 4 siblings are about 3 and a half at that age. They're beginning adulthood still. They're adults, but young adults. Their mother's very senior. She's 13. That's getting up there. It's getting into old age, but she's still very much the leader of the pack. That's typically how it works in the wild. Where packs are formed around parental.
Hope you guys can see that. Sorry, I'm not having much.
And here, the younger wolves recognize that she's their mom, so they look up to her, they follow her lead. And when they're sometimes competing with their siblings, she'll sometimes have to act as a referee. So that's all something most of us would probably be familiar with. So that's often, again, how it works in the wild. Most commonly, wild packs are maybe about 10 wolves or so. In the wild in Yellowstone, sometimes we'll see packs that are a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, but 10 seems to be the most stable number. And usually it is just one parental pair, one mated pair in that pack. Often it's both the male and the female that are working together to sort of be in charge of the pack, to raise their young together, and make those difficult decisions about all of the activities wild wolves have to engage in, from knowing when is a good time to hunt, when it's not a good time to hunt, knowing which animals to hunt, but also doing things like patrolling territory, managing relationships with neighboring animals. And wolf packs really depend on these older wolves, these parental pairs, having experience. The older the wolves, actually the better they seem to make choices about the risks they take. And so wolf packs with older members actually do much better. So it's important for those wolves to bring their wisdom and experience to the decision making that's an everyday part of the life of wild wolves. And it's important because wild wolves lead dangerous lives. Typically, they do not die of old age or natural causes in the wild. Most of the time, well, I shouldn't say natural causes. They're typically dying in confrontation with other animals, which is certainly natural. But it's not necessarily illness or that sort of thing. But one of the leading causes of death for wild wolves is hunting an animal like an elk. An animal of that size, this elk probably weighs pretty close to 1,000 pounds. Damn. But in the wild, wolves usually won't want anything to do with an animal that big. But they would target these smaller adult elk that might weigh 600 to 700 pounds. An individual wolf probably weighs pretty close to about 100 pounds. So they're hunting animals that are many times their own size. One of the leading causes of death for wild wolves is getting kicked by an elk or a bison. So when they have to go out and get the food they need to survive, to keep their pack alive, they're taking a big risk, which means they have to do it really, really carefully, and they do. They're very smart animals and very strategic in how they hunt. They don't just run after anything that moves. That's kind of a misconception. We sometimes talk about wolves that way, but that wouldn't be very smart. That would be a recipe for disaster. So wolves are really selective about who they hunt and when they hunt. And they want to hunt in circumstances where they have a good idea that they have a good chance to be successful. But they can't necessarily afford to wait for those to happen. So a lot of their activity is about sort of managing those opportunities and trying to create them. Trying to interact with prey to maybe provoke them to react in ways that might be a mistake. So they might have different pack to pack, different strategies for how they try to pull that off. And some of that would reflect behaviors that pack members have learned and then passed on generationally. So this generational teaching is a big part of how wolves achieve success. And when they interact with prey, they're often doing it in a highly coordinated and cooperative way. So like I said earlier, they're very, very social animals. They need to be able to cooperate with each other, communicate with each other, react to one another in pretty sophisticated ways. And all of that takes understanding, takes learned ability to kind of interact with each other, just like it does for us to get along with each other in social groups or in a work environment. We're not born knowing how to work together and get along with each other. We have to figure that out as we grow up. And even as adults, we need to kind of constantly put work into the relationships that we have. So life in a wild pack is very similar to that. And if we actually look at what wild packs do with their time and energy, certainly hunting is very important to them. But a lot of these other activities, from social interaction to doing things like patrolling territory, investigating animal activity, watching prey, but also watching neighboring animals like ravens and crows and magpies that might show up in, around maybe a wolf kill and cause chaos and cause competition that wolves don't want. Wolves want to know who's nearby and who's active in their space so that they can set boundaries with these animals and also set expectations. The animals that share the landscape with wolves are typically not strangers to the wolves. They're animals that are familiar with what the wolves are doing, maybe hoping to exploit, take advantage of the wolf activity. And the wolves in return want to make sure those animals know that they can't get away with too much. So just like we might, haze a bear that's wandering through a neighborhood to make sure it's not getting too comfortable around our home, wolf packs will sometimes do things like chase bears out of their area just to make sure that bear doesn't get too comfortable. You'll see the wolves that live here do similar things with the ravens that are coming and going in their habitat. They don't want the ravens to get comfortable. Wolf packs in the wild have to do that with ravens, crows, magpies, coyotes, foxes, bobcats, mountain lions, in the summertime bears. On one particular study of elk carcasses that were hunted by wolves in Lamar Valley in the northern part of the park, identified as many as 140 unique species on a single elk carcass that was hunted by wolves. So it is a really crowded neighborhood for the wolves living out in Yellowstone in the wild. And so they have to keep track of all of that. So a big part of what matters to a wolf, what their behavior is, their activity is on a day-to-day basis, is figuring out who's nearby, who their neighbors are, and interacting with them, often indirectly, maybe making themselves seen, using posturing and scent marking to leave messages for them, and then reacting to their activity. Those are the kinds of activities we want to recreate for the wolves living here. The wolves that live here know perfectly well that they aren't going to have to hunt for their food, and they haven't spent any time learning those hunting behaviors that wild wolves rely on. So they wouldn't thank us if we put a giant elk out in there with them. But we do need to give them work to do that makes sense to them as wolves. So over the course of the day, every day, we will add things like animal scent to the habitat. We will add elk bones for them to secure and chase the ravens away from. We will sometimes even give them a chance to move into each other's areas. We did that this morning. These changes can be disruptive to the wolves' sense of control, their sense that this is their habitat, their territory. They care a lot about controlling these spaces, just like a wild pack would care about controlling a wild territory. But we want them to react to these changes using behaviors that they are adapted to use to do all of those things I described if they were in the wild. So we want to make those changes to give them something to react to. So this morning, we spent a lot of time actually making changes in the wolf habitats, and we actually moved all of the wolves into each other's areas. It was really exciting for the wolves. That's why these guys are taking a big nap right now. They won't sleep all day long. Because they did wear themselves out with a lot of activity, we probably won't see them get up and run around for a little while, but it is normal for them to be active off and on throughout the day. And as they get active, you might even see them find some bones, move them to a central location, pull them out, work on them. Sometimes, especially the siblings in this family group, might compete with each other. All of that is a normal part of social interaction for wild wolves, and we want the wolves here to do that in a meaningful way. So you might see some of those enrichment items in the habitat. We aren't going to be adding any more today. And again, for those of you that have come in late and are joining us, I just did want to, again, quickly explain why you're hearing that howling. That sounds kind of so mournful. There is a chance that it is exactly mournful. Some of the wolves that live here have lost a pack mate recently, and so they're probably reacting to that loss. They're social animals. It is normal for them to notice that kind of thing, react to it. I can't talk to them about it. I don't know exactly.
Let's go hear the wolves. Sorry guys, I wasn't talking a lot because I didn't want to interrupt him. Now look at that wolfy wolf. You mistaking me for someone else?
No, I bumped into him. I thought it was you.
Oh.
He didn't have a backpack. I looked closer. I'm like,
Oops.
Hi. Pretty cool.
Now this place is amazing.
Term? It slaps.
Everybody, my dad's becoming goated in the language of the new age. Oh, millennial language. Oh, sorry. It's a quiet zone, everybody.
He's a gray wolf. Yep. So all these are gray wolves. Gray wolves can be white, tan, and black, or a mixture. So Bridger here, definitely mostly white, but you can see the kind of gray on his back and then the tan on his sides. His brother Obsidian's just over the center fence line right now. He's more of a dark gray. He's actually born as a black wolf. They do lighten him up after a couple of years. When he was first born, he was pitch black. So they're actually named for their undercoats. So they have a double layered coat, they have that undercoat that keeps them really warm, and then a thicker overcoat will grow back out in winter time. And the undercoat is always gray. So that's what we named them for. Very confusing for everyone who sees them and sees a white wolf. The undercoat's always gray, the overcoat will be. What's your location? Not that we can tell.
Run, dog, run.
I don't want to say they're uncommon. You can see a bunch of them out in Yellowstone. But we also see the same amount of gray. So I think it's a pretty even mix. It's kind of like hair color. If you think about like brunettes and blondes and black hair, same for wolves. It's just kind of a genetic. Yeah.
How come that one is fenced up?
So that is his territory over there. He's moving around a lot right now because Bridger's been moving around a lot right now. Obsidian is a former packmate of the two that are usually in this enclosure. So Bridger is usually out here with his sister Shasta. She's on a vet visit today. That's why she's been moving around a lot, howling a lot, just knowing where she is. So she
They're like
is the one who's
velociraptors.
usually in charge of this
Yeah.
here.
For those who are nerds like me who seek connections, they're a lot like velociraptors. Pac-mans, pack animals.
So this would be extremely stressful for a wild wolf. But we actually brought in the parents of the other pack. So on the other side of this building, there is a pack of 5. It's a mom and her 4 pups. The mom's name is Sura, and she came here with her mate Lakota. And we brought them in to raise these 3, and we just did not adopt them into their pack. So there can be a variety of reasons for that, and we'll never really know what the reason was. But with them, for these 3 was they didn't have those parents to take charge of their pack and to be the ones who were in charge of the pack. So one of them had to take charge. It's a little more common for females to do that, but it is more dependent on the temperament. In this case, it just happened Shasta was a female and also was tending towards that more assertive, more dominant personality. So she started taking charge of this pack. As she was doing that, Obsidian over there just had a real preference towards independence. So he was spending a lot of time by himself. That is something we see happen in that far pack. Sometimes mom wants time by herself too. She knows she doesn't need to be worried about it. But for Shasta, she might have viewed it as competition for the top role of the pack. She also just knew that behavior, but she got very aggressive. Which really just caused Obsidian to want more space from his sister because she was getting very aggressive with him. And he got more independent and isolated. They were quarreling with each other, and it just kind of kept building to a point that if he was a wild wolf, he would have left this. He would have left him. He's not a wild wolf, can't leave, so we gave him his own territory for now. This way he can still be social, so on that fence line, he can have interactions with his siblings in a way that's safe for him. He can also be territorial in a way that's safe for him. And we have seen him get a lot more confident and generally relaxed since he's been over there and away from his sister now. So oftentimes if he gets like a bone or a fish, he will braid it on the fence line and then eat it right in front of his siblings so that they have to watch him. We are hoping to introduce him to another wolf. But at this point, we're just kind of in a holding pattern since all of our wolves are fairly happy where they are. We've kind of gotten things settled here. And in that far pack, Mom is a bit older, so she's 13 years old. And so when she does pass, it's going to be a big change for that pack, and it's really hard to predict what's going to happen. And so we don't want to pull a wolf out of that pack really early, and it might have been a wolf who would have taken charge, or just help smooth things over. So we're going to just kind of wait for this. But we want to give you the chance. These ones are now 4.5 years old. So they're fully adults. They're full grown by a year and a half. They'd be considered adults around 2 or 3. The younger ones on that side are 3.5 years old. So they're all around the same age. With mom being that significant older one.
Oh, really?
Early conditioning. So if you think about the baby and the
Which one's off?
So
He's
the
crying.
sister is
Look
normally
at-
out here. She is just on the bed today. So she's not going to be coming out here.
Oh, wow, he's just crying for it. So your brother's okay.
Yes, yeah. So it was 2 males and a female. Yeah.
Ready for next, boss? You want to the other side to the other wolf?
Huskies and mountains, yeah. I don't remember which one
I
of those
wish we were
two.
closer over there.
We can go see Obsidian. Go see Obsidian.
Yeah, I'd like to see Obsidian.
Come on, Mom.
Interestingly, though,
Time to go see the other wolf, aka Obsidian. Which the name makes me think of Pacific Rim because of the Obsidian Fury. Though I know that's not his name, it reminds me of it. For you though, for people who are my age and older, you're goats, you know, just absolute nerds. Look at that wolf. That's a wolf. Look at this wolf. Look how beautiful he is. Nah, this is Bridger. This is the dude. Say hi to Bridger, everyone. Bridger.
Beautiful.
It's a big ass dog. It's the same size as Max, gray, not greyhound. What's it called? Obsidian. There he is. A wolf of the hour, Obsidian. I don't know, maybe it's just me being a dude and watching a lot of movies, but as I said, his name reminds me of Obsidian Fury. Hey. Hello.
You are a cutie, aren't you?
Look at that coat.
Such a handsome boy, huh?
He is a beautiful animal.
Marking your territory? Good boy. Good boy. Wow. Such a good boy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So what we're gonna eat?
Let's go for lunch.
Everybody who watches my channel regularly, this amazing gentleman is my father. Say hi, Daddy.
Hello.
And this amazing woman is my mother. They haven't made an appearance on my channel yet. Well, just did. And for all you folks who were nagging me on my other video that I put out recently saying face reveal, it's coming soon, but I won't tell you when. And if this video gets over, I don't know, 200 likes, I might consider making another video where it's my face. That point aside, look at that mountain goat.
It's beautiful.
Oh, over there. Grizzly bear.
Big bear.
Yes, a big bear. I want to touch it.
Oh yeah, the mountain goat.
And cubs. Look at these things. If you just think these are all taxidermied. All of them are taxidermied. Perfectly preserved in time. And yo, what's this?